And the splendid lady is here. Good morning, Mama V. How are you?
I got splendid today. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Islington.
How are you?
We'll have to find some
Except
way
that I
tomorrow.
feel like tired.
You feel tired?
Yeah.
I think you're stressed.
I am
You need
tired.
to go.
No, I think
Take some days off.
I think you get too busy in the evenings.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the newspapers now.
Yes, Mama.
But you
Shall we?
do get busy in the evening. Aren't you busy?
I've got the
Occupied.
Daily Graphic newspaper.
Why did you laugh like
I
that?
think her
What
mind,
were you thinking?
her mind is
Nothing.
wandering.
Indeed,
Nothing.
indeed.
Wandering minds.
I think you
I
have
just want to do the
traveled far.
newspapers.
Polluted. I can feel.
Anyway, yeah, we've got the papers. Who wants to start, or should I?
Yeah,
You're occupied in the evening. We
All
said it and you
Yes.
don't like it.
Please do.
Yeah,
Busy
please
in the
do
evening.
it. Please
Only talk about my working hours.
Yes,
my
that's what
official
we're
working-
we said.
But it's not only
My
your working
official
hours.
work hours.
It's not
But who only
only
works?
your working hours that make you
Who only
tired
gets busy? Who only gets busy during
during
working
working hours.
You know, all
Especially not you.
All I said was that I feel tired. That's all.
That's what
and
we're
we
emphasizing.
are
That
emphasizing that you get too busy in the evenings.
Okay, noted.
Oh yeah, trouble. Tobala. Aye. All right, okay. I have the Daily Guide and the Ghanaian Times. I'll run through them quickly. Police sack rowdy NDC gurus. Ofosu Ampofo charged. That is the banner headline the Daily Guide chose to go with. It looks a bit like this morning. Yeah. There you go. Now, kidnapped girls' parents go wild in court. Can you imagine? Your daughter has been missing since August.
201.
Imagine that.
Today.
Imagine that. And you have to come and sit in court and look at the face of the person who knows where they are, knows what happened to them, has evidence of their existence on his tablet. You have to come and look at him every day, not telling the authorities where your daughter is. Can you imagine that feeling? Your daughter, people are underestimating the horror that these
I
families
think that's why
are forced
things
to go
turned
through.
out the way that they did yesterday in the
Indeed.
courts.
And like I said, it's because we are underestimating the horror of what they're going through. Otherwise, I don't even think they would have had this sort of access to the suspect to have done what happened yesterday. But my heart just goes out to them. You know, I can't even imagine what they're going through. Mahama girl's case resumes. Who's the Mahama girl here? Sedina Tamakulu Atiunu apparently is the one that the Daily Guide is referring to as Mahama girl. Edupoku takes over Iyoko, COP Frank Edupoku that is. John Bwedu faults police over elections violence. And when will Iyoko have somebody who is not retired running it? Anyway, that's the Daily Guide. Let's have a look at the Ghanaian Times. President and Council of State dialogue over high import taxes and tax exemptions. I have some filler on that, by the way. Tamale set for 62nd. Yeah, something I picked up about a week ago. Anyway, Tamale set for 62nd Independence Day anniversary tomorrow. We're doing it differently. Tamale is the location for the big national celebration. And we'll work with NDC to uproot vigilantism. That's John Bwedu, the General Secretary of the NDC, saying this. On the back page, NPP, forgive me, General Secretary of the NPP, before they come and
sing a different party name.
Come and sing songs here at our offices. Okay, on the back page of the Ghanaian Times, WFP inaugurates warehouse for farmers in Ijura. And Talensi holds cultural festival and calls for revamp of tourist site.
Let's continue with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page, Ofosu Ampofo charged to face 4 counts, including threats to harm. There's a picture of him and then Sami Jemfi right behind him on the front page of the paper. Oh, okay. So Mr. Ofosu Ampofo addressing supporters of the NDC after his release from the CID. Picture by Ebo Hansen. He's back there on Thursday. President meets Council of States over high import duties. Effort to stabilize City Bank of Ghana to inject $800 million into reserves. Like Bank of Ghana to inject. It's not like it's been done. It's yet to be. Back page, WFP hands over warehouse to farmers in Ejura. Sechudumase. Also, farmers scramble for expired fertilizer in Achimoda. We'll check out what that means. Center spread of the paper. Ghana is 62 years national parade in Tamale for the first time. Nigerian president is guest of honor. That's big. He's freshly been re-elected as the Nigerian president, and he's our special guest as we celebrate 66 years. What have we got to show for the 62 years is one of the things we'll be asking tomorrow, all of us. You know, it's I think it happens like when it's our birthday, you know, when it's a national birthday, then we kind of ask, what have we got to show? I remember when we were 60, we were asking, as you're going on retirement, what are you carrying Ghana on retirement? What do you have?
And then years after retirement.
2 years after.
How burdened have you been?
You know, I don't. So I'm going to turn 40 this year.
Oh.
And I've always been a bit funny about birthdays. I think I feel the way you're describing, you know, I'm asking myself, okay, so what have I achieved? Where am I in my plan of life? You know, am I there yet? And I ask myself a lot of these questions daily anyway. So when it's my birthday, I recognize other people's need to, you know, celebrate and make merry. But personally, I just want to shut the door, switch off the lights, and think.
Reflects.
You know? Yeah. And this birthday, I'm having that feeling stronger than ever. I feel like a lot of things are happening.
Yeah.
And I really need to sort of make sure that I've got everything. So I compare that to what's happening to Ghana. And I think a lot of things are going on right now. A lot of things are going wrong. We need to perhaps spend more time this particular birthday with the lights off, thinking, how the heck did we get here?
Yeah.
And what do we need to drastically do different, all of us, in order to move from where we are to where we need to be?
I agree.
You know, there you go.
Yeah. We'll talk more by way of headlines. That will be it for the Daily Graphic.
Okay, let's look at the Daily Dispatch newspaper. This is how it looked like this morning. So we have the main story source from myjoyonline.com. It says massive earthquake likely to hit Accra. They tell you, they give you a pictorial representation of where the fault lines are, which areas. Go to myjoyonline.com. You also grab a copy of the dispatch and get to know really where you locate yourself, how you can also be part of the massive earthquake, to also see it as a good tourist attraction when it happens. We have Bishop Aji Nasari cautions MPP and
as tourist attraction.
MPP and NDC disarm barbaric party militias. That's on page 11. And then we also have men's gold collapse and had effects on data bank. And this one has been ascribed to the CEO of Data Bank. Okay. That's from a group chief executive of investment firm Data Bank. Kujo Adaimensa.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So those are the stories we have. Up there we have Ofosu Ampofo charged. Let's do the Statesman newspaper. The front page of the Statesman has a story. Ofosu Ampofo fingers Mahama, and then we also have over leak from secret NDC meeting, and Council of State meets with President. This is a Statesman newspaper. That's how it looks like. And then we have sincerity will save Ghana against political violence. But we have Ghana 62. Tamale welcomes Akufo-Addo tomorrow to independence festivities. I'm told that it's going to be massive, massive, massive. All right.
Okay. Should I do two more? Right. The Finder and the Custodian. Finder says accidents 197 killed in January, a 9.4% increase compared to January 2018. It's not the kind of news you want to hear. You know, and every year accidents increase. It's something you have to think about, you know. Technology improves, but accidents increase.
Do they really? I think
every year. Every year. You know, so we are using the better technology worse to keep ourselves safe. Okay, so our road furniture, our traffic lights, and road surveillance, and all the technology that is being created every year to keep us safer. For which reason, you know, road travel is becoming more and more safe around the world. We are having more and more accidents in Ghana. It's something we have to think about. The Finder says that. Council of State President discuss complaints of high import taxes. CID slaps 4 charges on Ofosu Ampofo and grants him 400,000 Ghana cedi bail. I counted 3 charges, but well, the Finder reports 4.
Graphic also reports 4.
Okay. So I guess there's one we missed. And the Custodian has a number of interesting headlines. The banner headline, send NDC leaked tape to diplomats. Group tells Mahama. Yeah, when people make politics fun in Ghana, you know, it's just fun. So, yeah, I'd like to see that.
Why
that
why
meeting
not
at
call
Peduase.
on them again, assemble them, and play the tape?
Yeah,
Which
you know.
meeting at Peduase?
But you know, the president had a meeting with diplomats at Peduase to run them through the videos from the Ayawaso West Wuogon violence.
You mean the former president?
Former president, thank you. Former President John
He
Mahama.
had a meeting at Peduase.
Yes,
Okay.
with diplomats.
Yes,
But
yes.
you know about this. We've talked.
No,
about
no,
this.
I know. I didn't know it took place at Peduase.
That's what I read. Unless it was somewhere else.
Peduase Resort. No, I'm not sure it's the Peduase Lodge.
It can't possibly be
The lodge.
Peduase Lodge. Can it? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peduase is the name of that area, is it not?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. They have a resort there, very beautiful resort.
Right. John Bwedu relives NDC thuggery. Ofosu Ampofo on 400k bail faces 4 charges. Okay, so 4
So
charges.
as John Bwedu has appeared, that it means that we're also going to have Esienu Nketiah appearing. Is that the?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, the NDC has not changed its position, right?
Okay.
Because they had said that they were not going to
Okay.
either give testimony or appear.
It's one of
and
those-
talk to the commission.
But
It's one of
they've had the
those-
candidates appear. They've had the.
It's one of those
An
declarations.
individual choice.
Yeah, it's one of those declarations that means nothing. So they've announced to the world that they won't participate. But if they are subpoenaed, they can't say no.
So I guess what
is the
we would hear
import?
when we find an NDC person appear, they would say he's not appearing in the party's capacity, but in his individual capacity.
But they
Oh,
can't
but-
invite the party. Who would come? An umbrella? Yeah, they can't. They can't.
No,
We'll
invite
put the
party.
umbrella on an elephant. The elephant will walk the
No, but
umbrella
we do
to
know.
the
But,
commission.
but we do know
the
that
only
when they are
thing they can do
invited,
is-
they cannot refuse.
Yeah. So there was no point in them telling the world that they will not participate. They don't have that
I guess
option.
we would see
They
now
don't have
that
that
we've
option.
had the general secretary of the
All of those-
NPP. Except that I don't know. With this commission, I'm not sure we even need the political parties. I doubt they will be objective.
Well, John Bwedu's
It will be
testimony-
one-sided.
What do you think
What's
about
objective?
It will be.
Bwedu's testimony?
Listen. That's why I said it. We don't need them. We don't need them speaking to the commission. I don't think it adds or takes away anything because
I
you don't
thought-
find that objective. Even though, well, okay, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was only going to say I thought that it was quite revealing to observe how he attempted to avoid the question of whether he knows double. You know, do you know double?
Yeah.
He said yes. Then he said, who is
Must I
double?
revise again?
And then immediately he said, well, which double? There are many doubles. So when you said yes, which double were you thinking of?
No, they should have asked that.
Maybe he didn't anticipate the question.
He
And then-
doubled until they had to show him the video, and
Can
then he was
I-
like, yes, I know double.
Can I
A
mix-
waste of national time.
Can I meet Double? Because, see, Double is a member of the NPP now, we know from John Bwedu's testimony
should invite
yesterday.
him to the-
He's a member of the NPP, and he goes to the NPP headquarters, like he frequents there.
I think he should be invited to the commission.
Except that Mr. Bwedu said he didn't know that he was in the national security. You get what I mean? Do you know he's a national security operative? He said no.
Said no, he didn't know.
That's why I think we don't need the political parties. Except that, was it the PPP that made an appearance?
Yeah.
That was very impressive.
Yeah, because they have
But
nothing
it's
to lose
easy.
and gain.
It's easy.
As a spectator, you can say a lot.
I think we
When you're
can
a
do.
player,
I honestly believe we can do away
you play
with
for Barcelona
NDC
or-
and MPP with this commission. Because see, if you deny the existence of militia groups, if you deny the existence of this vigilante, then really, yesterday I was asking myself, the president's
the
call,
point of- yes.
what's the president's call? Because you say that these people are party supporters. They come on board when there are events. Depending on which events, then they bring their support. When, after what they do, like what else do they do? So what do they do when they are idle? Then you say they are businessmen and things. So they have other things that they do. They only come to support the party and they give security when in cases where you think the police is looking on and things are happening. So really, we are denying that they exist.
You know what? Actually, after you reminding me of this, because this is basically what John Budu was saying. After reminding me of this, I've suddenly realized that actually it's very important that we hear from the parties. You know,
because we need their
sometimes-
buy-in, I think.
No.
Oh,
Not that.
We just need them to
Right.
come and lie on record.
Oh, wow.
It's important. No. Listen.
No,
listen,
we don't need
it's
to come
important.
and lie.
Let me explain.
We don't
Let me
need them to
explain.
come and lie. I think
Let
we
me
need
explain.
them to be sincere.
They won't accept that. But it is important for that lie to be captured on record.
So that we
because
know.
what they are saying is, these people are not part of us. So if they are not part of us, then we can't disband them, can we? How can you disband something you don't control?
true.
So I want them to come on record and come and say that, so that we understand that this whole concept
So
of
what's the
disbanding,
point? What's the
this
point?
whole buy-in that they are advertising,
What's the point in
is
the call
a lie.
and writing to the
Okay,
NDC
that's
and
the-
sitting down with them?
thank
What
you.
would they be talking about?
Mama B, that's the reason
Talking
why.
about a subject that doesn't exist. Where's the subject matter?
That's the reason why you can hear a party chairman talking beautifully in an interview to Evans Mensah about how militias must be disbanded and the people of Ghana are the ultimate losers and blah, blah, blah. And then you hear him allegedly, the most ridiculous use of alleged. You hear him allegedly on a
Caveat, it's a
tape.
caveat.
Allegedly on
Well,
a
he's
tape.
been charged, so it's a
Yes, it's still an
a
allegation.
matter to be dealt with.
Yes. You hear him allegedly on a tape inciting violence and talking about how now his approach to security is going to change and he's going to be using these people that he doesn't control and cannot disband. He's going to be using them
For various
to
activities.
do all kinds
Various
of things.
actions.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
All right?
Tape-
So I want it to be
tape
on
could
record.
be doctored. So
I want the commission.
just be mindful
so
that the tape could be
I'm
doctored.
saying allegedly. am
Yes,
not?
I know.
So you see, I want them to
I am
come and
also
I want
adding
them
to
to
the
come
allegedly.
and tell these lies on record, so that when the commission is making recommendations, it will not include sit down and tell them to disband. That cannot be one of their recommendations, because it is clear that the people are saying that they don't control these groups. So look, this disbanding, I am with you. Rather, it is the disbanding of militias that should exclude political parties. As for the commission, it should include them. But the disbanding exercise should exclude them. We should find some other way of disbanding, because the political parties are lying to us that they don't control these people.
It is surprising for them to say that these party militias are controlled by individuals in the party.
What a joke.
And,
Well,
it,
okay, so the commission will resume sitting today, and we bring you live broadcast of the hearing, so you can follow right here on JoyNews. Yesterday, Dr. Kwesi Enin was as ever impressive. I mean,
yes. It's a storehouse of
yes,
knowledge. Isn't it? It's a storehouse
True.
of knowledge.
All right, any others?
It's
The
just that the Bank
accidents?
of Ghana, the Bank of Ghana
Roland
has
and the city.
injected 800
No,
million.
it has not.
800
it says
million US.
to Ebeo.
It will.
Oh.
It will to show up the city.
Like what we
You
are.
don't think we have to discuss it?
800 million.
Million dollars.
So
Okay,
you know,
Roland, discuss.
go ahead, let's hear you on it.
No, but I think it's something that is worthwhile doing. But at the same time, we know the effects
Roland
of the
Walker,
city.
it has not happened. It's a
We know-
dream.
Oh, so
we know the
it is
effects.
worthwhile.
We know it's worthwhile
Go ahead.
that the Bank of Ghana intends doing this, but we also know the effects that depreciation has had on various sectors of the economy, particularly those who tend to be involved in export or retail trade. But more effectively, if that should be done, I'm thinking maybe the Bank of Ghana should have been more preemptive. If you read the story, some of the reasons they are ascribing for the current state of the city and the way the depreciation has gone, it beggars belief that they had to wait maybe by the beginning of the first quarter before they try to do some level of capital injection at the end of the day to shore up the city. It's a bit baffling.
Well, Roland,
I found it quite interesting. Your friend was quoted in the story.
Which friend is this?
Mr. Opata.
Okay.
So they say this is not caused by weak fundamentals, not external factors.
They caused it themselves. The Bank of Ghana caused it themselves. That's what the information minister tells us.
No, but
no. Then, so who are you disagreeing with?
So
who are you disagreeing with?
How?
But that's what the man said.
So how did they do it? What have they?
Clarify. By the way, Kojo watches us all the time. So good morning, information minister. This is what he said.
We know what he said.
Repeat it.
Last time you repeated it.
Do you remember it?
So no, let him finish.
Repeat.
He said that the market misread some signals from the Bank of Ghana. What's the market? The market is the banks. Bank of Ghana's market is the banks. So the banks misread some signals from the Bank of Ghana. So the Bank of Ghana was trying to do something, initiate some policy to do with the IMF conditionalities. But they didn't communicate what they were doing well to the banks. So the banks saw it as some pressure on the currency. So they reacted by taking some decisions about their dollar reserves. And that has caused a shortage, which has caused the value of the cedi to plummet. So they caused it, and it's now going to cost us $800 million to fix it.
But you don't know, it's not the first time we're
So this is
what are you talking about?
This is
not the first time. It's not the first time, so now it feels nice.
No, I'm not.
It's not the first time you've been robbed, so now it feels nice.
No, so essentially it won't be just the 800 million. It will be a lot more.
They did it, and they are now going to inject 800 million to fix it. And you say it's laudable, it's worthy, it's what?
I'm saying that it's worthwhile that they intend doing this. But we also know that they could have. I'm saying they could have been preemptive on.
They say in the coming days we'll begin to see some stability. So
$800 million worth of stability.
Yesterday, you asked a question about the religious groups and political parties. What was the question again?
I was asking, do you think those who criticize these religious groups for being partial when it comes to their commentary about national issues, do they have a point in that criticism?
Okay. I kind of like remembered because this is page 17, and I see Reverend Dr. Pony Frimpong saying that religious leaders, CSOs, not enemies to politicians.
Well, they've never been enemies, have they? Because the politicians go to the church, they are giving...
No, but...
The NDC chairman is an elder of the Pentecost
church.
But
when the question he asked, you know, sometimes they are seen as being aligned to one party or the other, so depending on who is in government. I mean, we've heard how some people even link it and say, depending on who is in government, some churches would preach, they will have different themes.
Yes.
You know, so that they can be extremely critical of one government or, you know, that kind of thing. So yes, we've heard about all that. Yeah. So it could be a coincidence. I mean, people are affiliated. You can hold that against them. If we say we all vote, then we certainly vote for one political party or the other. So, yeah. But if it is, then it won't be fair. It won't be right. It means that they are also not being objective. Yeah.
You remember a religious leader was accused of, I think it was the same man who said Jansafuimo. He was accused of, did he accuse someone? No, he accused some people of attempting to bribe him with a car and some money, right?
True. True.
So it appears that the bid to influence is sort of two-way, isn't it? You know, so some politicians try to influence religious leaders. Some religious leaders also try to use their influence to either denigrate one, you know, particular.
And you know, the new accusation is, where is he now? But you know, I listened to him, and I think that sometimes you just have to take our time and just check. The man has retired. He's handed over to someone else.
So the time he was talking, he was active.
He was active. And so when he comes out to speak, he qualifies it. He
But a
says
lot
that
of people were speaking
usually
when-
I don't like to do this because I want to give the opportunity to the next person too. However, this has prompted me to, you know.
But Mama V, is it not true that if you look
said
at
it could be a
if you look at
coincidence.
The question is-
before the MPP came into office, the number of religious leaders and churches, so to speak, who were making commentary on national issues, they all seem to have evaporated.
Okay, have we measured that? I mean, I'm always looking at by how are you measuring that so that, you know, I can weigh something.
Well, the problem is not even that they seem to have evaporated, but they seem to, we seem to hear them only when one party does something wrong. So that's why the NDC is now accusing the head of the Peace Council, the chairman of the Peace Council, of being biased. Because it's not that he's evaporated, but we heard him when John Mahama said something unpalatable. But you see, for me, the comical aspect of it is when John Mahama himself now came to complain of this bias. So you have left the thing you said with Jainwa Tunchen are coming to criticize the person for criticizing you. So you have a right to criticize him, but he doesn't have a right to criticize you. You see where the hypocrisy then just keeps ballooning? So you, dear, you have a right to. You should be able to stand in church on a pulpit and criticize him for criticizing you. But he should not have
But it's also because I have seen some people who really don't belong to the political parties. But when you come out, you're tagged. You know, depending on what you say, people just...
So it's made people
just align
not
you.
come out,
and it's
so
the
to
same
speak.
with academia. I mean, people don't want to come out because as soon as you do...
Then it means that you're attacked.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's always this...
Same with the media as well.
Yeah,
right?
as soon as you do,
office
you're
politics
tagged.
with it.
So we are calling for independent analysts. You know, when you're discussing something, people say don't do MPP, NDC. Guess what? Bring the independent analysts, bring the lecturers and those who do the research.
They are afraid to
And
talk.
depending on what they say, as soon as you do the story and the headline goes, they are tagged. And they won't talk again. They'll say that you...
So you see, there is a solution to our world. I have a solution to it. I don't know if it will work for others. But what I try to do, and I'm sure you'll remember, when NDC was in power, everybody said that I was against the NDC. Now the NPP is in power. Everybody is saying I'm against the NPP. So it is starting to emerge that I'm simply trying to do my job of checking government. Fourth estate, that's what we are.
So
Right?
it means
So
that
the solution
when there is a change, then...
no, the solution is don't stop. Don't stop talking. And take everything on a case-by-case basis. Don't feel a need to equalize. Don't feel that today there was something against the MPP, so tomorrow I must find something against NDC to say. No. Just take every case as it comes. And be honest. Just say what is right, say what is wrong, and move on. It doesn't matter. At any given time, somebody will think you are against them.
Yeah, you heard
That's
Dr.
just the
Inin
way
say
it is.
yesterday how he was threatened because he commented on the forces that entered the courtroom in Kumasi, the sentencing that was finally handed to them. And we know the NCC boss was also, you know, and people sometimes people insult you, and when you're elderly and your children, you know, your other people are there, and all these young people are insulting you on radio and television. You're not, you know, you don't want your children to witness that.
It's
so you stay
undignified,
away from the media. You stay away from national issues.
Look, what Kojo said seems to be the best point. That
Keep
we all
talking.
need. Yes. No, and then people need to be consistent. It's the consistency that gives people the impression that it's not because you're taking sides, and even if you're tagged, it's because that's
who you are.
That's who you are. That is what
Listen,
you want to do, and that's
how
what you're
many
passionate
times
about.
haven't we heard how even within academia, if you are head of a department, depending on which administration is in power, and depending on what you say, I mean, the next minute, your position could be changed.
Indeed.
And that's your life. That's your life. That's your career.
But the thing is,
that's what you depend on.
If you are being honest, if you are an honest person, you will always find things to criticize about each party. Because they are as bad as each other. That's the reality. That's the truth. They are as bad as each other. So if you are being honest, there will always be something to either praise or criticize about both parties.
On that note, we have to go. Yeah.
Right then, sports is up next, and then AM Talk. Stay with us.
All right, back.
Have they been telling you to